everyone, and welcome to the RangerRob Country Living channel. Figure out how to shut the door here. And this is part 2 of my little bit of documenting going through a stroke. And the last video I talked about kind of the recovery and some of the things that came up or has come up from 5 months ago. And I wanted to follow up with, let's see, some of the tools that we had to get, or we used to get back on our feet. So, and I promise this is a homesteading channel, so I'm not going to dwell on this. I just thought I'd make this my stroke week to kind of tie in with our older clients that have been with us for a while, and the new ones that may not understand little comments from the past. But one of the things I wanted to show you, I think our biggest investment is, of course, when you have a stroke, you usually have trouble with walking, or so for me, we ended up getting a walker and let's see, a wheelchair and a cane. And I got the wheelchair at the hospital, but by the time we got home, we really never used it. So we just turned it into a Norco, I believe the place is called. Turned it back into them, and so I no longer even have a wheelchair. But we did get one because we didn't know if I'm going to need it or not. I used a walker most of the time for pretty much the first month. But as I was getting braver and braver, I switched over to using a cane, which I felt was more hazardous than anything I was using in the past. But I used that for a little while, and just got brave enough as my foot was getting stronger. Eventually just started to go out to the fields and stuff cross country. And we have a 5-acre place, and my concern was that I wanted to get out so I can start helping my wife, which was doing my job of feeding our pigs and our outdoor animals. And so that was kind of a good motivator for me to move along quickly and get more independent. And the last thing we did buy that helps us out a lot is the new side-by-side. The side-by-side is made by Kubota, and it's worked really good for us. And it has a roof on it and stuff, so we're just trying to keep the rain off of us and stuff. It doesn't rain a lot in Central Oregon. But anyway, this was probably our biggest investment, and it really helps out with trying to get things done quickly, carrying food, bags of food out to the fields and stuff for our pigs. And yeah, it's just been a good investment, so I'm glad we got it. But I know it's probably a little pricey for some people to do this stuff, because having a stroke is not cheap. But anyway, and let's see, the things I save money on is I quit. My wife says, "You're not going to vape anymore." And by the time I got home, all that stuff was gone. And I agreed with her. So anyway, I've not had any. I have a desire once in a while to want to have a cigarette or basically vape, but I'm over it. And so that's been good. And so yeah, so recovering was. The equipment is not cheap, but it wasn't terrible, you know, like buying a walker and stuff. Maybe the wheelchair is the most expensive. We rented ours, so anyway, and gave it back quite quickly. So yeah. Anyway, so the next thing I would definitely want to suggest is people have misconceptions of what strokes will do. So I think almost the first month when I was home, some of my good friends in the farming world, could picture me like being crippled or can't speak or anything like that. So some of them just came over and kind of checked on me and to make sure that wasn't the case. And they were surprised, and I was happy to surprise them too, that I was showing signs of getting back to normal even after a full-blown stroke like that. So, but everybody's stroke is different. So some people don't recover so well. Some of the other things that's really important to do is you got to put an effort out. So one thing you'll have to do for sure is probably therapy. So either like speech therapy or physical therapy or domestic tasks and stuff like that. You better learn how to do again. And it will probably take hiring instructors or a school or something that you can go to learn this stuff. One of the other things that had me concerned is we had animals and a mini farm here. I was afraid I was not going to be able to hold my own and do my chores and stuff like that. So that was a great incentive for me to heal quickly. And also making sure that your friends and people that are acquainted with you understand what a stroke is, and educate people that you may interact with a lot that are so they understand what you're going through, and inform them how your healing process is going. And that really makes the ordeal a little easier, because it takes a while to recover from a stroke. And one of the last things I want to cover with a stroke is you got to give yourself the drive that you want to recover, and even though it's slow, because they sometimes they'll talk in months or years of how long it would take to recover from a stroke, and you may as well get that set in your mind. Some of the stuff is not gonna fix itself overnight, and that can be frustrating too, especially when you got a farm and like you only have one partner. Like I don't have kids around, so I was really worried that my wife was going to get burnt out, because she was doing not only normal things around the house, but she is also maintaining our animals. And when it comes to fixing cages and things like that, I had to rely on not only my wife, but good friends that would come over and do some of my chores. And that was it's really humiliating. And so learn to be humble, because you need your friends to help you, and you don't be afraid to ask. And those are some of the things I want to pass on to people. If you know someone's had a stroke, or you've gone through a stroke, or you're afraid of yourself getting a stroke, make sure you go to the doctor and be checked. But the big thing is being stubborn and being resourceful, so you can get over your stroke, and give yourself patience. And yeah, it should turn out all right. So anyway, feel free to share your stories with us, or your relatives or friends that have gone through stroke and stuff, and share your stories and success stories also, and what you would do differently, and what people should do to prevent from having a stroke. That would all be welcome info for people to hear. So anyway, guys, that's the end of my part 2. We'll go back to homesteading stuff next week. But I bring this up because part of our homestead is maintaining the homestead and our farm, and you know, we prepare food, and we did have to do some planting and growing. So life still goes on. So I just want to make sure to let people know that we had some hard times, and we had some things we had to not do this year so we can get through this year to heal. But we actually managed pretty well. So, and so will you. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, talk to you later. Bye now.